Welcome to Pastor's Chat today. Well, Psalm 34. This is one of my favorite Psalms, and I'm telling you, it really is. When I think of this Psalm, I think of verses like, "This poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all his troubles." I love that verse that David says, "The young lions do lack and suffer hunger, but those who seek the Lord shall not want any good thing. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good." Oh, verses like that in this psalm have always grabbed my heart and given me encouragement. Now, this psalm was written, as we can tell by the title, the inscription, by David. And it was written at a time in David's life when he was really having a very difficult situation around him all the time. Matter of fact, he tells us when it happened. It's called a Psalm of David, when he pretended madness before Abimelech, who drove him away, and he departed. And so after this happened, that we read in the inscription, David went to the cave of Adullam, and there he took his outlaw men as he was fleeing from Saul, and he turned that cave into a cathedral of worship. Yes, he was dealing with a bad situation. Now, the story behind this is found, of course, in 1 Samuel chapter 21. So you want to read 1 Samuel 21 and you'll see this. Now, right off the bat, some people might say, well, just a minute. In 1 Samuel 21, the king of the Philistines there was Achish, and here he's called Abimelech. Well, Abimelech is the name or title of royalty, just like Pharaoh was the title of the head of Egypt. And Abimelech was often used in the Bible as a title for royalty. But the name of the king of the Philistines was Achish. And David, remember, was fleeing from Saul. Saul was jealous of him. And why he ever went to Gath, now this is really just beyond me, but David went to Gath. Now remember Goliath that he killed, that started off his whole military career and his political career and becoming a famous hero of Israel? Goliath was from Gath. This is where Goliath was from. It was the last place you think David would go to for protection. But he finally got tired and weary of fleeing from Saul with his outlaw band of men. He thought, well, maybe I'll be safe here with this Philistine king. But when he got there, he found out it was worse than it was with Saul. And then he knew that he was in big time trouble. And so he feigns madness. He acted like he was insane. He starts grabbing his beard and slobbering and acting like a crazy man. And then Abimelech, or Achish the king, ran him away, drove him away, and he went to this cave. Now David gets to this cave, and when he gets there, like I said, in Adullam, it's a famous place where David would often hide from others in the wilderness there on the side of the Dead Sea, a terrible place to try to even get through. But David was there. I've been there and driven through there many times, walked through some of the places there, and I'm looking forward to going there within this next month again. But I'm telling you, David went to this cave and he turned it into a cathedral of praise. Now, the first part of this psalm, verses 1 through 10, you're going to see is a song. David is singing praise to the Lord. I'm telling you, sometimes when it's darkest, you're hurting the worst in your life, the best thing you can do is like David did. This poor man cried, and the Lord heard him. He went to the Lord in psalm and praise, and that's what he is telling his men. The second part of the psalm, beginning in verse 11 through 22 verses in this psalm, he preaches a sermon. So he sings a song and then he preaches a sermon to his men and tells them, hey, these are the rules. This is what we're going to do as a group of men. We're going to follow the Lord. We're going to trust in him. And we'll see that in this psalm. And so we see the first part of this psalm is very devotional, but the second part of the psalm is doctrinal. The first part of the psalm shows us the grace of God. The second part of the psalm shows us, the sermon part shows us the doctrine, the truth of God, and how he works in our lives and in our midst. It's a wonderful psalm. Let me read a couple verses. David begins, "I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My boast shall make its boast in the Lord. The humble will hear of it and be glad. Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together." My friend, let's do that today. Let's praise and exalt the Lord's name together. God bless you, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day.